The Giants and Eagles first met on October 15, 1933, in New York's famed Polo Grounds. Led by quarterback Harry Newman and fullback Ken Strong, the New York Giants crushed Philadelphia 56-0 and would go on to dominate the Eagles in the 1930s, posting an 11-3 record. The teams battled back and forth throughout the 1940s and 50s, and the rivalry grew more fierce with each passing year. But in 1960, the series would reach a fever pitch in a regular season game at Yankee Stadium, when Giants legendary halfback Frank Gifford met up with Eagles linebacker Chuck Bednarik in one of the most violent collisions in NFL history. Gifford was the Prince of New York, and the Giants were the toast of the town. But in a cold November game, Gifford would suffer an injury that would put his career in serious jeopardy.
Chuck Bednarik, I caught the ball just about the same time he caught me, and then I was coming across the middle, and he hit me in the chest, went back, and hit on my butt, and my head snapped back, and the field was semi-frozen at the time, and it was hard. There was no grass or anything like that. And all sort of vagued me because I've seen so many pictures of it. I saw it on film, and I vaguely remember coming into the locker room. Well, the one thing that I really regret about the injury was that to some people that even defined my career, which is totally ludicrous. But I know that years later, I had an MRI taken of my neck, and I had several vertebrae that had calcium growth over a fracture. And I didn't play anymore that season. Had I played anymore, it could have been really serious.
The Eagles went on to win the game, and Gifford never really recovered from that devastating hit. But the Giant team would. For the rest of the 1960s, New York compiled a 12-3 record against their bitter rival. And in 1972, they dished out a beating that neither team has ever forgotten. Dominating every aspect of the game, the Giants routed the Eagles 62-10. New York racked up 503 yards of total offense, 246 on the ground, and 257 through the air. Ron Johnson had 23 carries for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tight end Bob Tucker hauled in 8 passes for 100 yards and 2 scores. And Don Herman had 95 yards on 2 catches, both times finding the end zone. New York's 62 points are still the most ever scored by a Giants team. But as sweet as that victory was for the Giants, 6 years later, in 1978, they would suffer perhaps the most bitter defeat in the franchise's history, in a game that New York fans have simply called the fumble. On the passing of Joe Pisarcik, the Giants had a 17-6 lead late in the fourth quarter. Although the Eagles narrowed the gap to 17-12, victory seemed assured when rookie cornerback Otis McKinney intercepted a pass with 31 seconds left. With the Eagles out of timeouts, all that remained was for the Giants to fall on the ball and run out the clock. But what occurred was one of the most bizarre endings in football history, as the Giants literally handed the game to Philadelphia.
Under 30 seconds left in the game. From here on in, Pisarcik can just fall on the football, and there is nothing the Eagles can do. And Pisarcik fumbles the football. It's picked up by Herman Edwards. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Eagles! I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The Eagles beat the Giants 19-17 before a shocked crowd at the Meadowlands.
The Giants players and fans still feel the pain from that stinging defeat to this day, in a game that Eagle fans remember as the miracle in the Meadowlands. In 1981, the Giants drafted linebacker Lawrence Taylor out of the University of North Carolina, and all season long the rookie would wreak havoc on Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski. Throughout his career, LT sacked Jaworski 13 times, more sacks than he registered on any other signal caller. Taylor's relentless pursuit of Jaworski inspired his teammates, and in 1981, the Big Blue defense got to Jaworski 6 times, including 3 sacks in the 1981 NFC wildcard game. It was the Giants' first playoff appearance in 18 years.
We knew we could beat them. There was no doubt in our minds we could beat the Eagles. That wasn't even a question because we were playing good ball. We knew it. We knew we could beat. We knew we had them, stuff, and we did, and they knew it too.
The Eagles were a 7-point favorite, but the Giants scored on their first 2 possessions and opened up a 20-0 first quarter lead when Mark Haynes recovered a fumble in the Eagles' end zone.
Going to come to the right, and Henry will take it. He drops it at the 5. Three balls. Giants have it in the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, my Lord. Giants got a touchdown.
Scott Bruner connected with Tom Mulledy to give the Giants a 27-7 halftime lead.
Bruner at the 30. He's going along the end zone. Complete. Touchdown. Mulledy caught the seam. He ran a perfect route.
But Philadelphia battled back. Wilbert Montgomery's 2 second-half touchdowns cut the lead to 27-21. And as the Eagles and their fans sensed a miracle comeback, the Giants' offense was determined to extinguish the rally.
This was one time in a situation where the offense could win the game. We had done a great job up to that point, and if we got a couple first down, people were going to say, well, hey, the offense did their job, and they won the game when it had to be won.
Behind an inspired offensive line, running back Rob Carpenter rumbled through the Eagles' defense, chewing up yardage in time that preserved the victory.
We felt confident. We felt a lot of confidence. And like I said, when you're playing well, you know you can beat them, and we did.
It would be almost 20 years before the Giants and Eagles met in the postseason again. This time it would be in Giant Stadium in the NFC Divisional Playoffs. And once again, Big Blue jumped on the Eagles early.
Up to the 10, 15, breaks right 20, 25, 30. There goes Dixon to the outside, it's a foot race. Ron Dixon in midfield. Ron Dixon's gonna score. But this is the best way you can ever imagine to start a football game. And Giant Stadium is ready to explode.
Dixon's amazing run fired up the fans and the Giants' defense. New York's relentless pressure on Donovan McNabb set up Big Blue's second touchdown.
McNabb again over center. Drops straight back. Giants on a blitz. McNabb hit as he throws, swings it right, and the pass nearly it is intercepted by Seahorn. He's got it on the run. Down the left sideline, cuts it at the 10. 5, touchdown! He batted it first. Somehow it did not hit the ground, and then he captured it, took it down the far sideline. Jason Seahorn gives the Giants a 16-0 lead.
Hey, I've never seen you play like that, man. Hey, Jay, I've never seen anything like that.
The Giants would go on to beat the Eagles 20-10 to earn their second playoff victory against their bitter rival. In the decade of the 80s, the bitter rivalry between New York and Philadelphia would intensify. And it was clear that there was absolutely no love lost between the two teams.
There was no animosity like there was with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that was something special, and that probably was more rooted in Buddy Ryan than anything. You know, he liked to foster this sense of, you know, us against the world and this gang mentality, and kill. You know, it was more than the Eagle games and Eagle Giant games were more than just games in those years.
1986 would be a magical season in Giants history. They would sweep their regular season matchup with the Eagles. And Coach Parcells' confidence in his troops would result in some trickery against their rivals.
We had a lot of weapons during the course of that year, and I felt like I was on the hot seat. We were playing Philadelphia. My number was called. I released down the field when the ball was snapped. Jeff Rutledge lobbed the ball to me, and my heart was racing.
Oh, they're going to throw the ball. They're going to get a touchdown if he holds it. Touchdown! Harry Carson.
And I didn't want to disappoint, the fans, and I gave them a little something to cheer for.
But in 1988, Philadelphia would exact its revenge. With New York leading 17-10 in the third quarter, Phil Simms was knocked out of the game. The Eagles rallied to tie the game and send it to overtime, where they won it on a field goal. Sort of.
Ball is a block. It's blocked. Free ball. Picked up by the Giants. By the Eagles. He's in. Fountain. Free ball to the Eagles, and they scored a touchdown.
The shocking loss is still the only time the Eagles have defeated the Giants in overtime. 11 years later, in 1999, the Giants produced a miracle finish of their own. Trailing 17-3 in the fourth quarter, New York's defense clamped down on Philadelphia running back Deuce Staley and forced a turnover deep in Eagles territory.
Ball loose, and the Giants say they have it, and I think they do.
The Giants' offense tied the game in the final minute of regulation.
Graham takes the snap, drops back, pumps, looks, end zone, touchdown, Pete Mitchell.
And the defense won it in overtime.
Peterson back straight to the pocket, settles, throws, pass batted, and it's intercepted by Strahan. Michael running to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown Giants, they win in overtime. Michael Strahan with the interception, and once again the Giants defense wins them another ball game.
And what a guy to do it too, the leader of the defense.
3 years later in 2002, the Giants faced the Eagles in the final game of the regular season with a playoff berth on the line. In a tough defensive battle, New York trailed 7-0 late in the fourth quarter when Kerry Collins hit Jeremy Shockey to tie the game at 7.
Lobs it right, looking for Shockey.
He's got it
for a touchdown. He took it right away from Dawkins.
All that was a jump ball, and Shockey wanted it more.
Dawkins is 5'11", Shockey's 6'5".
And in overtime, the Giants defense came up with a big turnover.
Feely back, looking, throws it over the middle. Pass is deflected, intercepted by Sean Williams. Brandon Short tipped it. Sean Williams have it. First turnover of the day.
That set up kicker Matt Bryant, who provided the margin of victory.
Snap, spot, kick on its way, plenty of leg, and it is goal!
Oh my gosh! Would you believe it?
The Giants are going to the playoffs! Matt Bryant from 39 yards out in overtime! Pandemonium at Giant Stadium! A 10-7 win over the Eagles!
Three years later in 2005, defense and kicking once again gave the Giants a thrilling win against their bitter rival. 6 sacks by the defense and 4 field goals by Jay Feely earned New York a hard-fought 26-23 overtime win. In 2006, the Giants traveled 90 miles down the turnpike to the unfriendly confines of Lincoln Financial Field. Philadelphia built a 24-7 lead that seemed insurmountable. But in the fourth quarter, Big Blue came roaring back, thanks to some fortunate bounces of the ball.
Burris has it, runs out of a tackle, and fumbles it. The ball is loose, and the Eagles recovered. It's still loose in the end zone, and Tim Connor falls on it for a touchdown. Westbrook fumbles the football. It's loose on the ground. They dive for it, and the Giants say they have it. So with 4:13 to go, another chance for the Giants. Eagles in front, 24-14. Manning takes the snap, throws it into the end zone for Toomer, makes the catch, touchdown, he got his feet down. And with 3:28 to go, the Giants are right back in it. Manning takes the snap on a 1st and 10. Steps up under pressure. He cannot take a sack. He throws it down over the middle of the field. Caught by Cutter at the 40-yard line. And now here's Jay Feely to try a field goal to send this game to overtime. Snap, spot, kick on its way, and it is good!
And in overtime, the Giants completed the thrilling comeback in dramatic fashion.
Third and 11, drops back, blitz on, heaves it left for Plaxico Burris, who makes the catch for a touchdown! Burris just beat Sheldon Brown for a touchdown, and the Giants have won in overtime, and they come on the field in Bob Manning. The Giants score 17 unanswered points, in the fourth quarter and win it on a 3rd and 11 in overtime, manning the Plexico burst from 31 yards out. What a game, what a comeback.
In Week 4 of the 2007 season, the Big Blue defense continued a tradition of feasting on Eagles quarterbacks. In a 16-3 victory, the Giants sacked Donovan McNabb a record 12 times, including 6 by OCU Manura.
I've seen you. You are the best. You are better than me. All right? They can't touch you.
I really still to this day can't really explain how that happened. I mean, you really rarely get an opportunity to ever get at a quarterback like that before, but everything just seemed to be falling together. Steve Spagnuolo was doing a great job of calling blitzes that were getting me in one-on-one situations with the offensive tackle. He never really stood a chance.
McNabb in the shotgun. And he gets sacked again by Umanura. Sack number 6 for Osi.
I think I still really didn't believe what happened when I got to the sideline. I didn't know what was going on. I think overlooked was the fact that that night was the day that Strahan had broke Lawrence Taylor's record for most sacks in Giants history.
1st and 10 Eagles, McNabb back to throw. Steps up under pressure and he's sacked by Michael Strahan, and there's the record, 133.5, and he does it with Lawrence Taylor in the house.
The thing I'm most proud of is breaking LT's giant single season sack record. That right there was the crowning moment of my career, especially when you're going against Philadelphia.
It was just an emotional and overwhelming experience.
I'm not worthy. I am not worthy.
In Week 3 of the 2011 season, a rookie wide receiver would have a breakout performance.
Manning back to throw, zips one left, caught by Cruz, runs out of a tackle to the 40, up to midfield, makes another man miss to the 45, down the left sideline. There goes Cruz, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Giants, 74 yards. Manning back to throw, has time, deep ball toward the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown by Cruz. He took it away from 2 defenders.
Cruz racked up 110 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Giants' 29-16 victory. In 2012, New York was looking to sweep the season series with the Eagles in a Week 17 finale. Eli Manning connected with 8 different receivers and threw for 5 touchdowns.
Deep ball down the left sideline, and the pass is caught by Randall, and he falls into the end zone for a touchdown. Throws right, he's got Wilson in the end zone, who makes the catch for the touchdown.
And the Giants pounded the Eagles 42-7. And in Week 9 of the 2016 season, New York intercepted rookie quarterback Carson Wentz 2 times.
Intercepted by Landon Collins at the 30-yard line.
While Eli Manning threw 4 touchdowns.
Play fake, quick slant, Odell's got it at the 20, cuts at the 15, he's to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Giants.
2 of them to Odell Beckham Jr.
Lobs one right corner of the end zone, touchdown Odell Beckham Jr.
And the Giants notched their 85th victory in the series with a 28-23 win.